All right, let's get right into it. You know that little voice in the back of your head when you're buying silver, the one that kind of whispers, hey, what if this is fake? Well, today we're going to show you how to silence it for good. We're about to uncover a simple, almost magical trick that uses something you've already got in your freezer to protect your investment and give you some real peace of mind. Okay, take a close look. They look identical, right? They've got the same shine, the same beautiful design. They even feel pretty similar in your hand. But here's the thing. One of them is pure silver and the other is a totally worthless imposter designed to rip you off. By the time we're done here, you'll know exactly how to spot the fraud in seconds. And make no mistake, this is a huge problem. The market for precious metals, especially when you're buying online, has basically become a paradise for counterfeiters. I mean, they're cranking out fakes that are so sophisticated they can easily fool anyone who hasn't been trained to spot them. They're preying on our natural instinct to hunt for a good deal. And this isn't just some hypothetical scenario. This happens every single day. You think you've made a really smart investment. You've got these beautiful coins tucked away. But then, years later, when you go to cash in, you get hit with that horrible, sinking feeling in your gut, that mix of pure anger and embarrassment. And the money? It's just gone. And that right there is the crucial point. This whole thing is a battle of knowledge. They are literally betting that you can't tell the difference. But today, we're going to change the rules of the game. We're going to use a little bit of science that counterfeiters just can't easily fake. So how do we beat these guys? Well, we need to understand what makes silver so unique. And it's not just that beautiful shine. Silver has a secret superpower among metals, a physical property that sets it way, way apart from almost everything else. That superpower is called thermal conductivity. Now that sounds kind of technical, right? But it's really simple. It's just a measure of how fast a material can move heat from one place to another. So for something like wood, that highway is like a slow country road. But for silver, it's a wide-open German autobahn with no speed limit. Heat just screams through it. And this chart just lays it all out perfectly. Just look at these numbers. Stainless steel, which is a super common material for fakes, is just crawling along down there between 16 and 50. Even copper, which is a fantastic conductor, is at 401. But silver? It's the undisputed champion at 429. This incredible, almost unbelievable efficiency is the counterfeiter's secret weakness, and it's exactly what we're about to exploit. All right, this is where it all comes together. Now for the fun part. We're going to use that thermal autobahn against the fakes in a simple, visual, and oh-so-satisfying test. This setup could not be easier. First, and this is important, make sure your items are just at room temperature. Don't warm them up in your hands beforehand. We'll start by putting an ice cube on a control item, maybe a stainless steel coaster like this, just so we have a baseline. Then we do the exact same thing with our suspect silver coin. And the difference is, wow, it is dramatic. It's night and day. On the fake, the ice just kind of sits there, melting slowly. It's underwhelming. But on the real silver, it's not just melting, it's practically disintegrating. You can literally hear it sizzle, as if you dropped it on a hot frying pan, even though the coin is at room temperature. What's happening is that silver is just yanking heat from the surrounding air and dumping it straight into the ice at a shocking speed. And just like that, the results are undeniable. The ice on the real silver is almost gone in seconds, while the ice on our suspect coin is still very much an ice cube. The verdict is in, it's a fake. Okay, so the ice test is a fantastic tool. It can instantly weed out tons of those low-grade fakes. But, and listen up because this is probably the most important part of this whole explainer, it is not 100% foolproof. You absolutely have to understand its limits. Think of it as your first line of defense. It's a great screening tool, but it's not the final word on whether something is authentic or not. So, what are those limits? Well, for one, things like the temperature of the room or the coin itself can affect the results, which is exactly why doing a side-by-side comparison with a piece you know is real is so effective. Without that benchmark, you're kind of just guessing. But the test has one really big blind spot. And that blind spot is copper. Remember that chart we looked at? Copper's thermal conductivity is 401, which is dangerously close to silver's 429. So a high-quality silver-plated copper fake can perform very, very similarly in an ice test, melting the ice incredibly fast. It could easily fool you. And this brings us to the most important rule in this whole game. You should never, ever rely on just one test, especially if it's a major purchase. The ICE test is an amazing tool to have in your arsenal, but it is just one tool. A smart investor needs a full toolkit. So let's build that complete defense. We're going to put that toolkit together right now with 3 more simple, non-destructive tests you can do right at home. And when you use these together, you are going to be a very, very tough target for scammers. First up, the magnet test. This is a 2-parter. Step 1 is simple. Get a strong neodymium magnet. If it sticks to your coin, you're done. It's fake. End of story. Silver isn't magnetic. But if it doesn't stick, you move on to step 2, the slide test. Just tilt your coin and slide the magnet down its face. On real silver, the magnet will slide down weirdly slow, like it's moving through molasses. That's caused by an electromagnetic braking effect called eddy currents. It's really cool. Next is the ping test. See, silver has this unique acoustic resonance. Just balance a coin on your fingertip and give it a light tap with another coin. You should hear this beautiful, high-pitched, bell-like ring that sustains for a second or two. Base metals, they just make a dull thud. And get this, there are even smartphone apps like PingCoin that can actually listen to the sound and analyze the frequencies for you. How cool is that? And finally, never forget the basics, weight and dimensions. Get yourself an inexpensive digital scale and some calipers. Seriously, it's worth it. See, counterfeiters have a really tough time matching the exact density of silver. So if a coin has the right dimensions but it's underweight, it's a fake. If it has the right weight but it's too thick or too wide, that is a huge red flag. You can find all the official specs from the mints right online. So here's the key takeaway, the bottom line. The ice cube test is a fantastic trick, but no single test is perfect. A magnet won't catch a copper fake, and the ice test might not either. But when you combine them, when your coin melts ice instantly, makes a magnet slide like it's in molasses, rings like a bell, and it matches its official weight and dimensions, well, now you can be incredibly confident you're holding the real deal. You're now armed with a whole toolkit of simple science to protect your investments. So I want to hear from you. Have you ever come across a fake? What's your favorite go-to testing method? Share your stories and your best tips down in the comments below. Let's help each other build a stronger, more informed community.